Let him burn!
Mike, I just want to begin by saying we have an image for you. We have a photorealistic Rembrandt of you as the viceroy. Here we go. This could be you as the new governor of Greenland. Consider it. Just consider your options here.
Well, I would say this, Ben. Greenland is probably too cold for the viceroy, and Panama is probably too sunny for my ginger face for radio. So I don't know if those two places are going to work. And I think DC would be kind of fun.
Okay. Here could be your DC. This could be your DC outfit, your scepter. When Judge Boasberg is your cabana boy inside of DC. I'm not sure when he's your shine box boy in DC. There you go. That's a little better. Because you'll need to get that staff polished, Mike.
Yes, I lay around in swimming trunks at the pool at a cabana because I have that complexion. So,
Ben,
right, you know this. Gingers do not do well in the sun. We're like little leprechauns. So we avoid the sun. That's why it's overcast and cloudy 95% of the time in Ireland to protect this face for radio.
All right, well, here we go. Stop it with the Mike AI. Stop. I can see where they're loading up, Mike, and I'm gonna put a stop to it. All right, we have a serious thing to talk about here. So we've gone through with this show a series of massive consequences for people who cheated in the election, and people are actually getting arrested for this and charged in Connecticut. There are Democrats who are facing 92 separate charges for conspiracy for ballot rigging and mass ballot election fraud. Now, I heard there was no such thing as mass election fraud that changed the election results. That's clearly untrue, Mike. What should happen to people who are caught cheating?
Well, they should be thrown in prison for election fraud. And the Democrats say there's no election fraud. And then when they get caught with election fraud, they say, well, there's not enough election fraud to overturn the election. And then when you find election fraud to overturn the election, they call you an election denier. So obviously, there's fraud. Why else do you think Democrats have mass imported 15 million illegal immigrants into our country and then made it very easy for them to register to vote and made it very hard to stop them when they oppose the SAVE Act? Of course, they're importing these voters. It's, they used to say that Tucker talks about this massive conspiracy theory called the replacement theory. Well, what the hell do you think they're doing under Joe Biden for the last 15 years? I would just say this. Let's just cut a deal, Ben. Let's just tell the Democrats, if you don't mass import Tren de Aragua foreign terrorists who are going to rape, kidnap, torture, and murder Americans, and you don't import international gangbangers like MS-13 and 15 million other illegal immigrants, we will just mail the ballots to them in El Salvador and Guatemala and what other third world hellhole from which they came. And so they can just vote from there, and we don't have the resulting crime and chaos. And we'll even count the population of El Salvador in California's census count next time. So that will solve both of the Democrats' problems. They want more House seats in blue states, and they want more illegal voters.
I'm not sure I'm down with that plan, Mike. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm not sure I'm down. I can see downsides to this plan, but it's a very interesting one. It's about as interesting as a judge saying, you know what, I'm gonna demand that you actually import more terrorism to this country, which is what's been happening. Judge Boasberg, the luckiest judge on earth, man. I mean, he's just been handed all of Trump's cases. It reminds me of a dear friend of the show, Juan Merchan, where you just got Steve Bannon's cases and Peter Navarro's cases and all the Trump cases. Very unique how this always happens in these districts. This guy also, we've been doing some research, Mike. This guy was the one who let Ray Epps walk. He's a guy who did a slap on the wrist for Russia Gators, for the people who lied in the FISA court. Boy, oh boy, what luck of the draw. Right? I got to go to a casino with Judge Boasberg. He's just the luckiest guy ever. He gets every case the deep state needs squashed, and he gets every case against Trump that could kneecap the presidency. What do you make of this, Mike?
Yeah, D.C. Obama Judge Jeb Boasberg, and he's actually the most moderate of the Marxists on the DC court. He's like only 95% Marxist instead of 100% Marxist, like someone like Tanya Chutkan. So look, it's not random at all that he got these cases. It's supposed to be random, but what are the odds? Like 1 in 10 million that he keeps getting all these Trump cases like Merchan, as you said. And what this judge has done has crossed the red line. Let's step back and let's just give your audience an overview of what happens. We have President Trump winning the election, a broad electoral mandate to cut government spending with Elon Musk, to secure our border, and to get foreign terrorists, international gangbangers, and other illegal immigrants the hell out of our country. And President Trump is actually doing the unthinkable in Washington. He's actually doing what he promised Americans he would do, and he's doing it very fast. The American people like what he's doing. They gave him a comfortable majority in the Senate. They gave them the House again, and they want him to execute on his campaign promises of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting rid of these illegal immigrants, including terrorists and gangbangers, right? And so the Democrats have nowhere to run. So they're running to these activist judges, particularly in Washington, D.C. They're getting these illegal temporary restraining orders that aren't temporary, and then they're trying to sabotage the presidency. They're trying to sabotage President Trump over policy and political disagreements. They are the election deniers. The American people just put President Trump in office to do what he's doing, right? And so they're sabotaging him, and it's not only unconstitutional, it's not only illegal, it's very dangerous. Trump is not stealing Congress's legislative powers under Article 1. He's not stealing the Supreme Court's judicial powers under Article 3. He's exercising core Article 2 powers to secure our border, to deport dangerous terrorists, to make sure we're not funding Hamas terrorists who are going to kill Americans under the guise of humanitarian relief to Gaza. He's making sure we're not funding transgender mice research and Durka lands. And so what happened is you had a Judge Ali, this Canadian citizen, he's still a Canadian citizen, who got jammed through in the lame duck session onto the DC District Court. He bragged he's the first Muslim. He bragged he's the first Arab. He's delivering for Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood because he's ordering the president to send $2 billion in foreign aid over the president's national security review. And then that emboldened Boasberg to order the president to turn around planes during the middle of a national security operation to get our worst terrorists out of America. That endangered lives. That is why I'm calling for Boasberg's impeachment right now. Even if he doesn't get impeached and removed, I want him to feel the political pain. I want him to go through the process. I want the process to be the punishment as a deterrent.
Mike, this stunned us yesterday. I'm rarely shocked on this program. We've covered it all, and you've been part of that, and you're regularly live as we cover these insane moments in American history that you can't even believe are real. It's just like straight out of a movie when you watch Fani Willis get up there with a dress that's zipped wrong on backwards, upside down flag pin, waving stuff around with her wig falling off. It's like, it's really special. It's like fun, you know, and she got the Jasmine Crockett eyelashes. The point is that I'm rarely shocked. And I was shocked when I read this headline about the district court in D.C. A third of the judges are foreigners. Bro, what kind of a clown car are we running around here? Like a third of the judges weren't born in this country, have an allegiance to another country. How is that possible? How can we can't fix this?
So the foreign born is less of a problem than they're still foreign citizens. Like Judge Cannon down in the Southern District of Florida is foreign born, and she's a patriotic American. My problem is not just that they're foreign born. My problem is that they are still Canadian citizens, like Judge Ali, who brags he's the first Muslim and Arab federal judge in DC. That is dual allegiance right now. How the hell is Judge Ali still a foreign citizen, right? How can you be a lifetime appointed judge on the bench and be a foreign citizen? That should be disqualifying. I don't know how the Senate confirmed this guy. He's already really controversial, and then you put this foreign citizen with dual loyalty on the DC federal bench.
Would you be in favor of passing legislation that says you must be an American citizen only?
Yes, I think it would require a constitutional amendment because it would be a qualification or disqualification for a federal judge, which is laid out in the Constitution. But regardless, I would say this: how the hell did these Senate Democrats put this guy on the bench, jammed him through in the lame duck session after President Trump won the election on November 5th and Republicans won the Senate on November 5th and kept the House? Biden and Schumer and these Senate Democrats jammed Judge Ali onto the federal bench, onto the DC district courts after the election, and he barely got confirmed. How the hell do you put this guy on the bench? He's a Canadian citizen. He has dual loyalty. He's like his loyalty is not just to America. That's very obvious.
Yeah. Very quickly, we had a member of Congress on yesterday and throughout the entire week talking about defunding the court system. Your take on this?
100%. And I'm working with Senator Mike Lee and Chairman Chuck Grassley, my former boss on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chip Roy in the House, other House members, other Senate members. I'm working on reforms right now, bold reforms to impeach judges, to strip the DC District Court's jurisdiction, to strip their funding, for aggressive oversight of these activist judges. I would say this to these judges, these activist judges: if you want to take off your judicial robes and climb into the political arena and throw political punches, expect the Article 3 project to throw knockout counter punches, politically, legally, and financially.
Okay. Counter punch. Here we go. We have spotted a big Fani. Here it is. Fani Willis with Nathan Wade carrying her bags, wobbling through LAX. Nobody's seen Fani Willis in a long time. She's been served quite a few L's. Most recently, she's had to pay $50,000 to Trump's lawyer in Georgia, in Atlanta. And here she is going on a vacation, wandering through LAX. Quite a fall for Fani Willis. What should happen next, Mike?
Man, Ben, you're going to get me in trouble like you always do. But I would just say
Just asking questions about Big Fani.
Yeah, right there we go. Media Matters. Screaming headlines. I would say this: Nathan Wade needs to raise his rate because $700,000 is not enough to be caught dead, particularly in LAX on camera with that slob, Big Fani Willis.
Just on one quick point here. Fani Willis found colluding with the White House, regularly lying under oath about that. There's still an open investigation. Jim Jordan, he was on early in the week saying, hey, we still got an open investigation. What do you think should happen there?
I think that if I were advising the Justice Department, which I may or may not be doing, I would advise them to open a criminal probe on all of this lawfare and election interference against President Trump, going back to Crossfire Hurricane, under 18 USC Section 241, conspiracy against rights, because when you politicize and weaponize intel agencies and law enforcement to go after political enemies for non-crimes, that's the very definition of conspiracy against rights. And so to these Democrat lawyers and agents and operatives and judges, lawyer up. Justice is coming and nobody is above the law. I said this before the election. The Democrats made this a big campaign theme before the election. The American people like what they heard from me. Retribution is an important part of justice. I call it law enforcement. And so justice is coming.
Nice. Mike, we have one more image of you as the Viceroy coming, which is very special. We actually have a photo of you at the Justice Department meeting with some top officials. And it's really, can you please show the full? Yeah, there you go. It looks like you are here with an illegal alien as well.
It's Jack Smith and Tanya Shuckett. No?
Mike, you've gotten too good for us. You've gotten too good. See, that's the counterpunch we're talking about of the Article 3 project, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the Article 3 project. You can go on over there. Like, it brings the brass knuckles to fight leftist lawfare. You got to go support Mike, obviously, doing the best, doing better than anyone out there, quite frankly. And the number one reason to support Mike, he's never once handed me a binder full of Jeffrey Epstein evidence. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful. 400,000 people follow Mike. And you should be one of them, obviously, right? So support the next viceroy of Greenland or DC. We'll see where Trump puts him. And Godspeed, Mike.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you, Media Matters.
See you, trackers.